All right. So, what was the other major sort of event that went out this week that people were talking about? Did you notice anything else?
What's
Oh, Kyle. Wait. Which Kyle? Who? What are we talking about?
Kyle.
Oh,
Kaczynski.
our correspondent out in Westchester. Yes. What he was here? Yeah, I think one of the last things we did talk about was Jimmy Dore First fame with his cult of Doritos.
Doritos.
Yeah, that was
yeah, I made the big mistake of commenting on Kyle's video because I got all these angry
Oh,
Doritos.
you commented too? They didn't even notice mine. I guess I got looked over. But the last thing that we did talk about was Kyle made a response video to Jimmy Dore going ahead and dropping some sneak disses against him. And yeah, and then it looked like things kind of devolved to a place where Jimmy started he started doing the same kind of tactic that he was doing at TYT, talking about like the environment that's cultivated at TYT when there was an old tweet of Kyle's where, I mean, Kyle's old tweets are, they have a following on their own. But yeah, I love Kyle's old tweets. Old tweets of Kyle where where he said something about masturbating on camera, right? There was a thing that he said. I'm trying to remember what he went into there, but yeah, what the tweet that Jimmy pulled up said that if Cenk Uygur masturbates on camera, he'll get 12 views. If Anna Kasparian does it, then you'll get 6,000 views, which was said in jest. It was a joke. Anna commented on it and said the same thing. Said something along the lines of what was it? Something to do with oh yeah, only 6,000. That's what she said. Like, shame on you, Kyle. Only 6,000. So. Yeah, and then Jimmy decided to go ahead and take that tweet and start talking about what a hypocrite Kyle is, because Kyle said that he 85% or 90% agreed with Jimmy and Aramate on the whole Russiagate, Assad, OPCW, Syria thing. And that wasn't enough for Jimmy. It didn't seem like it. He didn't genuflect enough. He wasn't charitable enough with his interpretation. So at that point, Jimmy fired back and did his Jimmy Dore thing, where he kind of does all these lowball attacks to Kyle, who then proceeded to make another video. And at this point, when I'm seeing all this going on, I'm wondering who's going to go ahead and say something for Kyle, because Kyle really was more than fair with Jimmy. I think that's an apt way of saying it. I think he was very charitable with his first video. He said Jimmy was right on pretty much everything other than the comment that he made. And he said something along the lines that if he heard that comment that Jimmy made about his wife or girlfriend or mother or something like that, that he'd want to kick the guy's ass that said that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jimmy really harped up on that, because he took some particular issue with just that much, and then I guess proceeded to ignore everything else that went up in the video. And he started talking about how Kyle totally overlooked how Anna Kasparian was trying to blackmail Jimmy.
No, he didn't, though. Right? He agreed with
that's
all
the thing.
The framing. He was like, yo, it's not cool when you tell a girl her clothes are inappropriate.
Yeah.
That was basically his only criticism. which that's fucking. I, I,
Soft,
I don't know
soft.
how you.
It's
Yeah,
soft.
exactly. It's like
soft as shit.
like
He took issue with that part of it, that 15% disagreement, and then he took issue with that Kyle and Crystal went ahead and did their show this week, the Kyle and Crystal show, and then Jimmy was supposed to be on. They canceled on him, and they didn't get back to him until after they did the show.
Yeah, that was dick.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
which look, by this time that Kyle's explaining this, Kyle already went out there and kissed Jimmy's ass and gave him the most charitable interpretation, and Jimmy still went off on Kyle, calling in a lot of fucked up ways in that first video that Jimmy did. So then, what does Kyle do in response to Jimmy basically targeting him? The same as TYT. He makes an hour-long video and proceeds to. I mean, I'm trying to figure out the right way to say it without sounding fucked up. But
yeah.
He gave an even more generous interpretation of events, and then he capitulated to everything that Jimmy said, and then just hung on to that one little piece of disagreement. That's kind of how it went. Yeah. He accepted Jimmy's complete framing. He barely mentioned Anna's version of this incident in question, and said at one point that and apologized twice at one point. I know he apologized twice to Jimmy while making this video, and at the end of it, what was the result of all this capitulation?
And he still fucking went after him again.
Yeah, Jimmy came back again after this. So this was the tweet that Kyle last sent out in regards to this situation. Here we go. He says, "I'm well aware that I've permanently damaged friendships I've had with Cenk Uygur, Anna Kasparian, and Jimmy Dore. This was one of many reasons why I tried hard to stay out. Since I've been forced to say exactly how I feel, I've alienated all of them for different reasons. Sorry to all. I never wanted the personal stuff to cloud the policy stuff, which is why I tried so hard to stick to just the policy stuff. This is my final word on this. No matter what others say, I won't respond, so go to town if you like." Yeah.
Yeah.
He sounds like a broken and defeated individual by this point. It's a situation that he didn't want to be in. I can fully sympathize with Kyle's predicament of not wanting to choose sides, not wanting to go ahead and get into a situation that is so personal at that point. And but what I'm having trouble wrapping my mind around is the stuff that Kyle said in his videos, where he said he avoided a conversation with Jimmy because he was afraid about how he would blow up. Mm-hmm. That Kyle and Crystal deliberately avoided telling Jimmy, all right, we're not gonna have you on, we're not gonna have Cenk Uygur on. So he said that before the show, and said that was the reason. You know, and I there's only one way I can really take that, is that he didn't want to have a beef with Jimmy Dore, right?
Yeah, like he knows, like he didn't come out and say that, but he knows the way Jimmy rolls, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to, like, fucking just he demands, like, complete, like, genuflect at his feet. Like, you have to, like, like obviously everything he's saying is correct. He demands
Right.
like complete adherence to not
Mm-hmm.
even like the facts, but to like his interpretation, his values, his goals,
Mm-hmm.
like what he sees as important. You have to completely adopt his worldview, and you can't have any kind of disagreement, or else it's just fucking
Mm-hmm.
lights out, right?
Right.
Like, and that's like I'm just sick of the fucking like the wrecker bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's clearly causing a lot of problems. He's clearly like causing all of this conflict over something as simple as, yo, man, you shouldn't have said that she was
Mm-hmm.
inappropriate or whatever. Well, you know what I mean? It was basically like the thing that you said to her was like not cool, but everything
Mm-hmm.
else you're right about, and I agree with you on, and I'm going to defend you on. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
how the fuck do you? I just don't see how his
So
fans are still so loyal to him.
but
He sounds like such a fucking crybaby.
all right, but both parties in this did go ahead and respond to Kyle. I mean, Jimmy had a response, Anna had more of a indirect response, but this is what Jimmy had to say to Kyle's motion to just drop it. He said, "Just stop. Even now, you are making more false equivalencies. You just can't help yourself. You're a virtue signaling white knight who got caught encouraging female news hosts to masturbate on camera for views. Here's Anna Kasparian
scumbag.
slut shaming. Are you gonna punch her in the face?" Yeah,
He said that?
Yeah,
Like, what a fucking scumbag.
that was a
man.
response to Kyle saying he's gonna drop it. He's not gonna say anything else. He's not. He doesn't want to do this anymore. That's Jimmy going off and trying to make a thing about Kyle. He's doing the Neil Lib thing where they want to paint Kyle as a sexist. Which, I mean,
And, like-
it's a joke. I mean, it's an off-color joke. It was something that Anna was clearly okay with. Unlike you, Jimmy, going ahead and looking up her skirt, which is what she said happened. And now we went through both of those scenarios, and you and I both said that Jimmy was right up on the substance, and I still hold on to that. I think Jimmy's right to back Aaron Mate. I don't think he's doing it now. I'm questioning his motivations more, but I don't know if he's backing Aaron Mate because it's the right thing to do, or it's because he'll be able to stir up more drama clicks. But regardless,
No.
I thought he was right up on the substance. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's been his record, right?
Yeah.
Is to, he doesn't pull his punches with that, and I trust him on that aspect of it. But like,
And then, but
I just don't see how anybody can see that that's not it. That's just completely unproductive.
yeah.
Like that kind of response. Like I just don't see how anybody is putting him as some sort of like paragon of virtue and like some like moral North Star for the left, right? Like he's just unquestionably, like he's obviously right. Like if he says that it's right, like, and I'll defend like these people. I like commented on the video, and then within like 5 minutes I had somebody responding like, I can't believe Kyle fucking I can't believe he abandoned his principles or
I
something.
mean, if
And
anything
then,
I
like,
can say about
woke up this
Kyle,
morning,
it's
there
that
was, like,
he
3 more people.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle's never backed off from his principles. He's been honest about this, and I think he's being honest here. And like the real truth of it is, he just was trying to figure out a way to not fuck up a friendship with either of them. But Jimmy's incessant need to be a toxic dickhead is leaving that as an impossibility. Now, Anna also responded to Kyle indirectly. Didn't mention him, but this is what she said. Aside from the incessant slut shaming by the guy who sexually harassed me at work for years, and that a friend got bullied by the perpetrator into falsely accusing me of blackmailing him, the worst part of all this is that we've become the topic of conversation. We shouldn't be. It's embarrassing. I've tried to avoid feeding into it for weeks despite the endless libel. It won't stop unless people ignore the sock puppets and bad faith actors. Focus on the issues that matter. Only people who deserve an apology are those whose time was wasted with this garbage. The fact that it's easy to bully this from Francesca Florentini, who responded to Anna Kasparian. So the fact that it's easy to bully someone into taking stances against their friends, in my opinion, shows a weakness of character and integrity. But I guess that's the algorithm will tear us apart. So,
what do you mean the algorithm? It has nothing to do with the algorithm.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with the algorithm. But I think what was going on there is you see the responses from the TYT crew, and you see the responses from Jimmy. There seems to be a little bit more of an importance placed upon from TYT to salvage some kind of mutual respect. You know, it did it. He from that I can say that Anna looks at and didn't mention Kyle and still considers him a friend. And didn't want to go ahead and say any dickish things, even though she could go ahead. She has a mic. She has a large platform. She could go out there and say whatever the fuck she wants, same way that Jimmy's saying. But she decided not to do that. And I gotta say that's more of a respectable position to do. That's someone not looking for drama with Kyle. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's
no, but she also doesn't do her any favors to rehash the facts, right? Because I think, like I said, the first thing I said, I think I still stand by. Like, he's obviously a creep. Yeah. Right. Like, I just the way he is. There's no like off limits. Like, he'll shame you however he wants, whatever's convenient. Like, and like I don't know. I don't agree with because Mickey Kansas always tries to frame him as like some like arch misogynist, and he just like hates women. Well, blah blah blah. He's always attacking women. Like, there may be a little bit of that, but I just think he's a douchebag. Well, right? I just think he's an asshole.
Well, this doesn't help the misogyny thing either. When he is on an interview now, one of the things Kyle also said was that he didn't want to have Jimmy on because he feels that he would abandon his principles if he didn't ask tough questions. You want to move your camera up a little bit, bro? Oh. There we go. Yeah, so if he didn't ask questions. Now, what Kyle explained is that he felt it would be a fair question to ask in the situation, and that Jimmy would go apeshit when he was asked this. So then when Kyle was on another stream, I'm not familiar with this dude, but when he was on another stream, the guy took it upon himself to ask what Kyle was going to ask. And Jimmy, of course, responded in a careful, measured way. No, I'm just kidding. He blew a fucking gasket. All right, look at this. Look at this now.
Because he didn't want to ask you a question. So I'm just going to ask you the question that he didn't want to ask you. When you were revealing the blackmail attempt by Anna Kasparian, you used the term that she was dressing inappropriately. In retrospect, do you think that was the wrong terminology to use in that response?
The only reason I had to talk about that was because she was fucking blackmailing me. And you're gonna nitpick the words that someone who's being in the most sleaziest thing you could do, the thing you could never defend yourself from. She's gonna weaponize an incident from 7 years ago. That's an obvious, transparent bullshit. She's gonna misuse the hashtags Me Too thing that makes other women not be fucking believe.
I mean, I agree with all that.
The problem Kyle had was that I said she dressed inappropriately when I had to explain what happened. I'm sorry. I don't fucking apologize for that. And what he did was bullshit. And what a bullshit thing. I'm not responding to a fucking sleazy blackmail thing properly. I'm not using the proper words. Is that really the accusation? Yes.
That's not it.
That was the accusation. And of course I showed Kyle Klinsky to be a complete full fucking outrage pearl clutcher because he had tweeted at Anna Kasparian before, hey, why don't you masturbate on camera? I bet you'd get more live stream viewers. And Anna Kasparian went back, I bet we'd get 6,000. So they're all fucking pigs. They're all fucking pigs.
You just
and
did
they're
the
trying
same
to
thing.
slime me, and it's not working.
Yeah, as you
I
mentioned,
didn't fucking talk about it the right way. I'm getting fucking smeared and in the sleaziest way possible, and I said inappropriate. Oh my God, Jimmy Dore said inappropriate. Did he say inappropriate? I'm gonna. You don't want to punch Cenk Uygur in the face for smearing Julian Assange while he's being tortured. You don't want to punch Anna Kasparian in the face for tweeting out a fucking doctored video to smear an award-winning anti-war journalist. You don't want to fucking punch Cenk Uygur in the face for calling Jimmy Dore a neo-Nazi. You don't want to punch Anna Kasparian in the face for doing an obvious, blatant misuse of the hashtag #MeToo. You don't want to no, but Jimmy Dore said inappropriate when he had to defend himself against a fucking sleazy smear. That reveals Kyle for who he is.
Well, yikes.
It's just like you know, you don't do that in public, right? Like, it's like he's salty about he's not completely 100% in his corner,
Right.
and like refused to that, like he's mad that he didn't want to take sides.
Yeah.
Right. Which
That's
is
how it all started.
understandable.
And the other part of it, I guess Jimmy took issue was because Kyle had Hassan Piker on Crystal Kyle and Friends.
Yeah, he sees Hassan Piker as like, an extension of TYT,
Right?
Because he probably has never listened to his content before,
Exactly.
Right? Like, does not respect him in his own right because he's.
That's the only explanation I can really come up with, because Hassan has made a pretty good name for himself on Twitch. He's one of the he's probably the largest political Twitch streamer, right? On the left, right? I mean,
Yeah, he definitely is.
definitely, right? So I mean, so the fact that Jimmy can't see that Hassan is over here standing on his own, I mean, that's a problem with Jimmy. And the funny enough, the whole tweet that started this mess, the Sky God tweet from Cenk, even Hassan ratioed Cenk on that one. Even he did it. So what are we even talking about? That you're gonna have a problem with Hassan being on with Kyle, and Kyle showed the only part that he agreed with Hassan on when they brought up this issue was about staying out of it. Hassan says he wants to stay out of the drama. Kyle said the same thing. And Jimmy's losing his fucking mind because Hassan said it was Jimmy Dore drama, and he doesn't want any part of it. That was it.
Yep.
And I mean, look at all the shit that fell out from after it. Of course, you don't want any fucking part of it. I mean, these guys don't want to be dealing with this shit, and no, Kyle damn well did not set out to make an hour and a half worth of fucking videos to address this whole situation and try to defend himself. But
Yep.
and I mean, the most fucked up thing to me really is just the like Kyle says it a bunch of times, where nobody's entitled to have somebody go ahead and stick up for you, but that goes for the TYT crew too, and they had people coming up and defending them against Jimmy. Some like Mike Figueredo stood up for Anna Kasparian. Same thing with David Dole. I mean, you had those YouTubers going ahead and showing some sort of defense against Jimmy's attacks, which I think Kyle's even more in the right in his situation. And the only person really made any kind of attempt to defend Kyle was some dude named Voosh.
Yeah. Well, his framing, like, I only watched the first couple minutes of that, but his framing was all fucked up. Like, he agrees with TYT, right? So of course he's gonna, defend that, like, because he has to. right? Like that's the intellectually consistent position for somebody that's an imperialist warmonger like him.
But the title of Vosh's video was Jimmy Dore's not your friend, Kyle. He even frames it as an intervention. That this is a toxic relationships. He said there was a tweet that Vosh sent out in reply to Kyle that said that he got Vosh trending, that said basically cut Jimmy Dore off as you would a tumor.
As you would a what?
As you would a tumor. Cut Jimmy Dore off as you would a tumor. That's what Vosh said. Actually, let me see if I can find it. He's Vosh V. Let me see. So here we go. All right. Here we go. Kyle, Jimmy Dore is a lunatic who will betray every principle you believe he holds if it fuels the drama that grows his channel. He will not stop harassing you unless you betray your principles too and fall in line. Cut him off as you would a tumor.
Did Kyle respond to that?
No. And I guess David Dole.
What did David Dole say?
He said what he said. That's all he responded. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
well,
then, you know, of course.
it's a fucking shit show.
Yeah, and of course, Jimmy.
It's just like you say,
yeah.
like, dude, you know, like, it sounds like they haven't been communicating behind the scenes, right?
Who's that?
Like, well, judging from, like, the text that he showed in the video, right?
Yeah.
It's not like they're hashing this out in private, you know, like, they're hashing it out in public. Like, it's fucking, like, you know, I think this, I don't know, I guess it's just the clicks.
It has.
You
That's
know?
what.
And
That's the only thing
he's
I can think of.
Douchebag, like.
I can really only think of it being for the clicks, man. I'm telling you, like, it's 100% for the clicks, man. But I did want to go ahead and play just
like he should have seen Kyle's video and spiked the football and been like, "See, motherfucker, I told you," right? Instead of isolating like the one tiny area where he admonished him.
Right.
You know, he should have been like, "Look, fucking Kyle's got my back because he knows I'm right." You know, like he decided to make it so that like he's the only one,
Yes.
right? Like he's the only one who's principled and everybody else is a shill. And like if you are not completely in agreement with him, you are obviously a corporate sellout or whatever. Like it's just, I just don't see why he's got so many people hoodwinked into not seeing that for the crybaby bullshit that it is, because he just sounds like a crybaby.
Right.
Every time you hear him, he's like, fucking me, you know, like Kyle was, you know, like talking about Kyle's old tweets like that.
I mean, the other part is like they're supposed to be fucking friends, and here he is on his fucking show showing private conversations with between the two of them. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You know, like if you have a problem, and you have his number because there's the fucking text. Why don't you just call the motherfucker? Hash that shit out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're supposed to be friends.
The thing about the interview was a dick move.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, we've talked to we've tried to get people up on our show before, and sometimes shit falls through, or sometimes we misschedule, or sometimes they don't get back to us right away. You know, and I guess under those circumstances, it's kind of like, all right, you hit me back after the fact. You got back to me a few hours later, even the next day, and it's like, all right, you know, it's whatever. You can't make it, then it's fine. You know, it's not a thing about, all right, you're the worst person in the world. I'm appalled that you would leave me hanging because you didn't answer back right away and you didn't want and you couldn't come up on the show anymore.
And let me go dig through your 10-year-old, however old the tweet was. Let me go dig through your old ass tweets and find something to smear you with. Like, it's just, how is that not obviously low to everybody?
Yeah.
Like, how is that not a scumbag move to anyone? It's just like, I agree with Kyle 100%.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I take no issue with Kyle's interpretation, either his original one or his, updated version. He's right. He's 100% right. It was a dick move of them. Like, everything TYT did was scummy, right?
Yeah.
Like, the fact that I do agree that it was blackmail, right? I guess, by some definition of it. Like, the fact that you are going to rehash, like, interpersonal conflict you had at work 5 years ago or whatever at this exact moment, right? As a deflection from... Which
from Anna's perspective...
incredibly fair critiques of their journalism.
From Anna's perspective, the way I'm looking at it is... All right, if they're going at it over the substance and everything else and things are just about that, then it's a different conversation when you start attacking each other personally. Even at that point, you can disagree on policy. You can disagree harshly on policy. But when you start going and making things personal like that, then that seems to be what tipped Anna off. And she was like, okay, you want to talk about me like that in the personal sense, and I'll talk about you in the personal sense. Which I looked at it as more of a threat than blackmail.
God, Jank still trending.
Yeah. So let me play this clip from Kyle's second video really quick. It's an hour long, so I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but there's a part with the tweet I'll go ahead and play.
Validate whatever garbage he's trying to validate that I said she dressed inappropriately. Please don't say inappropriate. Oh my God, you know how that stings. What the hell's wrong with you? Get a hold of yourself. So, if you're going to do that, I'm going to have to show this tweet of you interacting with Anna.
Oh no.
And he tweeted
out, God.
If Cenk Uygur masturbates live on the Young Turks, viewers drop to 12 people. If Anna Kasparian does, viewers go up to 6,000. Hashtag TYT Live.
Now, this is Jimmy trying to hypocrisy burn me. But there's a problem. I defended him for his old joke. Go back to the first segment and listen to what I say. I say, hey, the original incident, what do you want me to tell you? I don't think he's a sex pest. I don't think he's a criminal. I don't think this is a Me Too thing. I tend to, lean in his direction with how he describes the events. He made a joke, and, maybe it crossed the line, maybe it didn't, but hey, that's not the thing that's an issue to me. That's what I say. That's not the thing that's an issue. So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles, and he turned around and attacked me on my joke. I defended him on his joke. He attacked me on my joke. Because he thought that this was a hypocrisy burn, because he's acting like I went after him for his bad joke when I didn't do that. I didn't do that at all. See, this is what I mean when I say he goes nuclear. He's now determined, because of what I said, that I'm his enemy on this, so therefore, fling any mud against the wall, and if it sticks, it's okay. And so he pulls up an old tweet of mine to be like, aha, see? Hypocrite. And you're the one who says raunchy stuff. You're the one who says edgy stuff. I'm pro edgy stuff. I'm pro raunchy stuff. I'm pro fun. I'm pro joke. I never said otherwise. I'm massively politically incorrect. So are you. And you know what? I love that about you, buddy. I love that about you. But don't try to do this silly hypocrisy burning when there's no hypocrisy there at all. The only thing I took issue with was what you said while you were correctly swatting aside the allegations. You slut-shamed, and you said she dressed inappropriately. And it's hilariously ironic because you're saying I'm clutching my pearls by making that criticism. When you say a woman dresses inappropriately, that's clutching your pearls. To say a woman is dressing inappropriately is the definition of pearl clutching. That is some shit Pat Robertson or Bill O'Reilly would say. And if they did say it, you would make fun of it.
Can I?
I don't think this is about career ambitions. I just want to make
No,
that clear.
I don't think so. I disagree with that.
This must, like, obviously.
Yeah, like okay. So I mean, to that point, what Kyle says, I mean, I I mean, again, I think he's 100% on the right. I mean, I can't really. Yeah, I mean, he didn't go after Jimmy for actually making the joke, and that's the other part of it. And actually, I gotta disagree with Kyle on that part because I think that Anna's version of events was more credible. I think her story made more sense than what Jimmy went ahead and told. And I thought Anna's version of what happened made more sense than what Jimmy said. Like as far as the actual incident.
What, he looked up her skirt?
No. Remember how she had described it? She said it wasn't a thing about one incident, and it was the way that she had said it was that she was taking her students there. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the way that she described it seemed like it was a more realistic version.
It sounded like he was showing off for the students.
If anything, yeah. That's the way it played.
Like, swinging his dick around.
Yeah.
And I can see being upset about that, and I can see, like, fucking making a big deal about it at the time. Like, I just think it's low to entangle it with the present conflict and pretend that it's, at all related to it, as if it's some sort of like reasonable response to his criticisms of their basically conspiracy theories, right? Like saying like that Monte is like paid by the Russians and he's like doing propaganda for Assad, like all this shit. Like that's fucking, that's, you can't think of, there's like very few ways to smear a journalist any worse than that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, especially in this day and age when it's just like, that's such a hot button issue, right? Like working for the Russians, and it's such a, like all this shit they got for doing Russiagate against Trump.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody that the left fucking loathes. So you're going to do it for one of the stalwarts of left-wing journalism? That's incredibly low. And then to turn around and respond to that with, oh, but that one time when he sexually harassed me, that was fucked up, or like, the way he treated me when we worked together.
Or even like, okay, because the way I took what Anna said was, all right, if we're gonna make it personal, then I'll bring up all the personal shit.
But like, was it personal talking about their editorial decisions to smear him like that? Like
because it's different.
She shouldn't have done that segment when she did. The first segment she did, right, where she was like, fuck Aaron.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Like, she should not have done that. It was incredibly low, and she should have apologized.
Yeah.
And said, I misspoke, or I shouldn't have said that. Like, none of these fuckers can take an L on anything.
Right.
Except
Kyle.
Right?
Like, Kyle's willing to take all the L's. It was so funny. God, man. Like, okay, I don't know if it's just his principles or whatever it is, but this dude's being a complete another fucking dick to you, and you're still capitulating to him.
Yeah. Well, because he's intellectually honest, right? Like, that's the correct position. He was correct in the beginning, and he was correct to go, to double down on it because he's correct. Like, that's the right take. He's not going to change his opinion because somebody pressured him or because he thought he was going to lose friends or whatever. Like, it's fucking embarrassing for people who are defending either side of this because they both look fucking terrible, right? Like, I'm just looking at this exchange between Anna and Glenn Greenwald earlier. Like, she will not respond to the criticism. Like, she still will not respond because she has nothing to defend that take. Right? Like, so look at this thread. She just goes on and on, changing the subject over and over again. Just fucking, if any of these people had an ounce of humility, this whole thing would be a lot easier to negotiate. But like I think the thing is, like I said before, I think TYT, I think they were paid to do that,
Okay.
right? I don't know why else they would take such a strong stance on this, and not just say, like, here's the facts, here's what we know, you can interpret that however you want, right? Or just not cover it at all, because they didn't have to cover Syrian politics, right? But to go so hard and be like, this whistleblower's bullshit, fucking Aaron Mate's like working for the Russians.
See, it's too bad
like
the
all
Intercept
this
missed
shit.
out on this great content. So yeah, Glenn Greenwald got into the mix here. So
So Greenwald's right,
so
right? He's right there.
so here we go.
I didn't read his article.
Yeah, I mean, his article was. His article didn't say anything about Kyle. I mean, he just. Yeah, but they can counsel themselves on how you slavishly recite NATO talking points for them to appear in every other pro-imperialism and corporate outlet. That is what made you a giant of journalism, and that's why you found such a great home there. The Intercept is actually doing pretty impressive journalism on a regular basis while you've reduced yourself to running interference for a fucking lunatic. Congratulations.
See, then she made it personal, right?
Which I mean, it's
And then
a
Glenn's
different by
response
this
is
point.
so
Man. It's a
mature.
different point by at this point. It's a different dynamic. But all right, let's see what he says. Hopefully, one day people will realize what utterly spectacular work the Intercept does and start reading it. Until then, I'll say that the lunatic is the guy who sits next to you, accusing people of being paid by the Russians, even though both he and you know that it's a lie. And you see, did you find it problematic when your buddies accuse us of being CIA or paid by NATO? Of course not, because you went from being an incredible journalist to whatever the fuck you are now, depressing watching the regression in real time. And I'm not being dragged into your battles. I made clear that I wasn't arbitrating about who was right or who was wrong or commenting on every aspect of what happened. I confine myself to two issues that in my view have importance beyond your conflict with Jimmy. Like accusing me of weaponizing sexual harassment when Jimmy was already talking about one of the incidents months before I even sent that message. This was his way of threatening me. Kind of inconvenient for your blog. Which I kind of wonder about too, though. Because, all right, let me see this. So this is from December of 2020. This is before the message that Anna sent that Jimmy says it was blackmail. So it says the only reason I had to talk about this was because she was blackmailing me. So this is when Jimmy brought this up in December 2020, completely unprompted, 6 months before Anna Kasparian even sent that DM. So let's check this out.
It's an honor to meet a war criminal who's killed 500,000 children. It's an honor. I'm a journalist. One time I was in a news studio, and I won't say who did this, but someone wore such a short... No. Anyway.
You gave me a dirty look last week when I mentioned that. I thought it was funny.
I'm just saying. I've seen newscasters' naked asses in newsrooms. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying whose.
I think
But
what
he
is a nice
didn't-
news skirt.
Yes, a nice news.
Yeah, the only thing worse than a nice news skirt is a nice news thong.
A news thong.
Oh,
News
man.
It's a news bikini.
I mean,
I'm doing the news in my news thong. Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
like, you wouldn't know who he was talking about.
But Anna would know who he's talking about.
Yeah, she would, but the public doesn't, is the thing,
I
right?
don't know, man. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way, too.
Yeah, but it's it still doesn't change the fact that like that was a clear deflection. You know, like,
no, I mean, like that's the thing. It's what we both said before, man. There's nobody looking good here. TYT can't. I mean, it looks sleazy as shit for what they're saying about Aaron Mate. As far as what they're saying about Jimmy, I don't really give a fuck about what they say about Jimmy because they're saying the same shit back to each other. They're exchanging it at that point in the fucking
like,
mud.
Bringing Jimmy into it to begin with was sleazy, right? Like that's what they did because they couldn't defend themselves against Aaron Mate's very So I mean,
Yeah.
understandable response.
So that's what I'm saying is like really when it comes down to it, look, they drag even if they want to say that they drag Jimmy into it. Again, I'm saying by what Kyle said, his defense was a fucking problem, and clearly there was a pattern there where if he brought it up before, man, it's just.
Yeah, it sounds like this has been an ongoing issue,
Yeah.
right?
So what I'd go ahead and point out is just look, man. If they're in this fucking beef, there was no reason to even drag Kyle into it, man. He didn't want nothing to do with it.
No, like I said, he should have been spiking the football after Kyle's video.
Yeah, that was it. He could have
Right,
just
he
walked
should've been
away
like-
and been like, okay, Kyle agreed with everything on the substance, and then what? Maybe I could have responded to this a little bit differently. Maybe just like an ounce of humility would have done it. Would have been like, all right. Again, I think Jimmy had the moral high ground before he went in and said that shit.
What shit?
Before he said the whole thing about the inappropriate and commenting about our fucking clothes, man. Not even the joke, even leaving the joke out of it. The fucking video that he did after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I find inappropriate is that she told you it bugged her, like she told you she didn't like it,
Yeah.
right? And instead of being, a nice guy about it, you did all this.
Or
right?
even, I mean, just like the painfully obvious thing here is to go on and say that play into you having the correct position and say, I'm over here talking about what you said about Aaron Mate. I'm here talking about you Russiagating and doing McCarthy spears. That's what I want to keep it to. And I don't need to go ahead and say anything else against you because you've already fucked up. You've already taken the wrong position.
Yeah.
That's easy to do.
Yeah.
That's easy to go ahead
You
and
can
say.
tell, like, this has been bugging him ever since it
Yeah.
happened, right? He's been pissed off about it for how long was it, 5 years
Yeah.
ago? Right? He's just still mad about it. And he constantly needs to be, like, reassured that he's, like, of his integrity, right? He constantly needs, like, the validation from his fans, like, because he knows they're little sycophants who will defend anything he says, right?
Yeah, and that's what's happened.
This video?
That's what's happened.
What's this Orphalia video?
Oh God.
Like, they were clearly cultivating that sort of like Howard Stern-esque vibe back
But
then.
I mean, like, I don't
right?
even think that was really all that
But
much of a
that's what I'm
problem.
saying. Like, I
man.
don't even think the joke is that bad.
No.
I think what's bad is she told you it
bugged her.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That she
told
felt
you She
uncomfortable.
didn't like it, and then you continue.
And then you
doing
rehash
right?
it the way you did, and then
Yeah.
bring it right back out and say, okay, you don't apologize for making somebody feel the way you made them feel, and then go back ahead and then crap all over them for the same issue that you apologize for. You know what I mean? Like if you really felt bad and that you shouldn't have said that, you do your little apology card and say, all right, you know what, I fucked up. I shouldn't have said that. My bad. Even if you go out there, you do the card thing, and then when this thing comes back up, you don't say that you were wrong. You slut shame. You say that it was her fault for being inappropriate. That's why I made the joke. That's what he did. Like, I was in the right to make that joke because of how she was dressing. That's what he did. He went in his response to say that. You know, when the right thing to say is that, yeah, I made an inappropriate joke. I apologize for it. You know, that's all it was. I feel like I made her feel uncomfortable, and I was wrong to make her feel that way. That was it. Now, that has nothing to do with her saying about Aramate. Now, where's her apology for saying some fucked up shit about a journalist that's just doing his job?
Yeah, he could have fucking come out of this shit smelling like
He
roses.
really could have, man.
Right? Like, just, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like he doesn't fucking care, man. He is obviously not about, like, what's best
No,
for the left or, like,
and that's my point here. Kyle over here was bending over backwards to try and stay friends with this asshole, and he doesn't give a fuck
about that. That's what Greenwald says down here.
He doesn't give a fuck about that.
I'm talking about Cenk's flat assertion that Aaron is paid by the Russians. Cenk didn't caveat it. He asserted it as true, but it's a lie. If you guys had just acknowledged that from the start, I shouldn't have said that. I think this would have played out much differently. Yep. And then her response, if only Cenk had said what I wanted him to say, I wouldn't publish a blog justifying Jimmy Dore's sexual harassment of his employee while also accusing her of weaponizing it. Got it. How is that? It's like not... It's the facts, right? Like, again, she can't respond to the substance of it because she has no response.
Hey, fashion chess player. Yeah, we were gone. Matt was on vacation, so I took a vacation. So we were just we took this week on a sabbatical. But yeah, we're back now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but it's cool. Sometimes we could use some time off. But
he's too busy kidnapping the ice cream man. Yo, they need to stop with the ice cream shit.
What I missed the ice cream thing. What was the ice cream thing?
They do like an ice cream photo op like once a
week.
The
Joe Biden ice cream thing. That's just creepy.
Yeah, they need to stop doing that because it just makes him look older. Yeah, and grosser, right? Like just. Yeah, it's like that's what they're going for is like, oh, this nice old man, he likes ice cream. And, you know, he's not like a war criminal who made sure I was in debt the rest of my life. No, he's just a nice old man that likes ice cream. But, like, he looks like, you know, like, what's that movie? I can't think of it. It's like a... Maybe not Back to the Future. Oh God, I can't think of it. But like, you know, there's like an old senile guy in the movie who's just like licking the ice cream all gross. He just reminds me of that every time I see him. Stop, dude. It's gross.
Oh jeez, Cenk said some shit again. I was waiting to see if Cenk will respond again. I guess Ryan Grimm weighed in too. I forgot about that. Let's see. Yeah, I know Ryan responded. Let me see if I can find what Ryan said here. Because I know he did weigh in. Man,
it's just like none of these people have any, like none of these like, you know these you know pro NATO people have anything to say. It's just like, oh, you were in this picture with if a comment on how it looks, posing in front of a picture of Assad with the information minister plus a group of war crimes denying lobbyists who are in the country to whitewash a sham election, plus incidentally are the ones who invited you and arranged your travel, looks bad. No, what looks bad is the fact that the entire American media just completely ignored the OPCW story.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's what looks bad. Like, I don't give a fuck who he poses with. I don't give a fuck like who, like, you know, invited you and arranged your travel. Like, that doesn't bother me. And the fact that, like, that's all you have to defend this completely, like, dishonest framing of the entire scenario is just it's just obvious to me, right? Like, it's apparent to me that, like, you don't have any you know, you don't have any actual facts on your side, you know? Like,
so here we go. Here was Ryan's tweet here. Shoot, if I can get it. All right. So he says now this guy is attacking his friend Kyle Kalinske, who has been nothing but gracious as Jimmy has unwound over the last year. He was basically the last reasonable person, hoping he was salvageable. Let's see.
what?
That's what Ryan Grimm said.
Said about Kyle?
Yeah, about Jimmy, I guess. So here we go. Yeah. Now this guy is attacking his friend Kyle Kalinske, who has been nothing but gracious as Jimmy has unwound over the last year. He was basically the last reasonable person, hoping he was salvageable.
Gutless sellout shill Kyle Kalinske.
Doesn't know what the word blackmail means. Burns bridge to heat LA mansions anyway. So the video that he's commenting on what Jimmy said. Or Jimmy's video. Kyle Kalinske omits Anna Kasparian's blackmail of Jimmy Dore from video. That was a.
Did he though?
No, that was the video. That was the video that Jimmy made. He omits the blackmail.
Omitting key facts. That's
omitting
his,
key
that's
facts.
His, like, that's his
omitting
take.
key
Like,
facts.
That's his response.
Mm-hmm.
That Matthew Dimitri guy sucks.
Yeah, tell me about it. But yeah, that's what Jimmy's fire back to Kyle's first response was, that he was omitting key facts, that he was blackmailing. Admission is a sign of guilt, is it not? That's the thing, though. I mean, look, if Jimmy felt contrite about what he said about Anna, then he wouldn't have responded the way he did. And instead he turned around and said that he was in the right for making that joke, and proceeded to slut shame Anna, when he could have, like Matt said, came out of this smelling like fucking roses. Could have just said, you know what, I made an inappropriate joke. It was fucked up at the time. I apologize for it, and then just backed away from it.
Admission is a sign of guilt, is it not? I mean,
what it shows is that, yeah, Jimmy didn't really give a fuck what he said to Anna the first time.
No, he might have said sorry. Like, I believe that he sent her a card and said sorry, but he was obviously still, like, fuming about it. To mention it in that stream from 6 months ago, just completely unprovoked. It's just like he's just incredibly petty and has to have all this tangled up personal drama, has to be wound up in this very serious issue that was obviously not serious for him, because it's just like he doesn't actually care about like solidifying the left or like having progress.
No,
any of that shit. Like, he cares about his brand and he cares about, like, getting into like the right dunks and shit. It's just of course Jimmy's wife weighed in against Ryan here. So wow, what a tough guy. Oh wait, you must have Jimmy Dore blocked, Ryan. Yes, of course, I'm a tough journalist who picks obnoxious fights out of pettiness, and I don't want to be humiliated due to my personal failures. So Ryan shot back, tell your husband I'm sure I'll unblock him eventually out of morbid curiosity. Meanwhile, why did you not speak up when he lied and said he only brought up his harassment to get in front of it when you knew
You were there in December when he brought it up then. Yeah.
What did she say?
Then yeah, she responded, "Quit harassing me and unblock Jimmy, but you won't because you are just that cowardly and standing by the misogynistic pigs." Anna Kasparian and Jake Uger, who McCarthy smeared Julian Assange and Aramate and made false Me Too allegations to distract from it. Yeah. And you can see the tweet that Dor blocked me over. So inside, outside, if you want a third party, then start one. Stop whining at Bernie to do it for you. I don't know. Sometimes I do like that Gato Fumador.
No, I like her a lot. I'm a big fan of her.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like some of those. I do like some of those tweets. I think we are following them. Or actually, I am following her. Yeah,
Yeah.
And you know, this is the thing too.
That is
yeah,
true.
like they're shooting at TYT, or Jimmy is shooting at TYT for misogyny and for all their edgy Howard Stern-esque kind of content that they used to do that they haven't done so much. And I mean,
that's gross. In
which
general.
okay, here's the thing. You know, if you're gonna go ahead and like calling somebody else or pointing out their misogyny doesn't really excuse you and say that you're not a misogynist. It just means that was the environment and you were part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you were a part of it. That, like, all these things that you're bringing up from back in the day when they're talking about Britney Spears cooch and shit, you were there, bro. You didn't have a problem with it. That's not why you left. You didn't go ahead and raise your arms and say, you know what, I cannot be part of a misogynistic network. No, you like that. You got your platform built off of their network.
Yo, that would have been funny as fuck if he had, instead of the way he responded, if he had been.
Yeah, you know, arguments get messy with partners get involved. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. That's what we're looking at. You know,
Like,
you know, huh?
think about it. If he had been like, you know, there's just, I should have seen the warning signs. This toxicity was at TYT.
Right.
You know, I had to
Right.
leave because their misogyny was just too strong.
Yeah.
If he had done some shit like that, it would have been fucking so funny. Oh man.
Yeah. That would have been, but I mean, look, is anybody going to believe that Jimmy had a problem with the environment at TYT while they were doing all their Howard Stern shtick? Does anybody think that?
No.
I don't think anybody does.
I mean,
So, I mean, to go ahead and point the finger back at TYT when you're responding to sexual harassment allegations and say, all right, yeah, but look how risque their fucking content used to be. That doesn't excuse you, bro. I mean, what do you think that does? That's you too. You buy that brand.
yeah.
You know, and the deal with Kyle when it comes to all that shit, yeah, I mean that is deflecting. I mean when it comes,
Definition of
when it comes to Kyle, I mean, what are we talking about with him? He doesn't have any problem with those fucking jokes. He even said on that video, that hour-long video he made, he said, "I miss TYT doing that shit." So there's never a problem with the jokes.
I mean,
you know,
I don't know. Some of that shit, like those clips, was terrible. Like, those TYT clips.
Like
right? I know it's out of context and all.
Yeah,
but
I mean they are out of context, bro. Like, I mean, that's the thing. You know, it's not like anybody. It's not like anybody canceled them over those fucking videos when they came out. It's years later they look back and be like, "Oh, that was bad." You know, and it's like, okay, really? You know, you're saying that shit now. I mean, not like they were hiding that. Not like they did anything to keep him hidden for all these fucking years. They're right there in their fucking archive.
I mean, I never talked like that. You know, like I think that probably was not doing any favors to the left. Like if people saw that back in the day.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I don't think it was really about that. I think it was there. You know, Jank started basically as some kind of shock jock asshole when he was doing his public access shit. So I mean, of course, they're looking at TYT. They're doing the same kind of content or the same flavor of content from back when Jank started. Now they're buttoned up and more buttoned up, doing like.
When did they start doing the Wolfpack stuff and all that?
I don't remember the Wolfpack and then like the Justice Dem stuff. I mean, like all that shit changed.
Yeah.
You know, somewhere along the lines, which Kyle again pointed out that he doesn't think that TYT's bought, and that line that Jimmy keeps pushing around about it's all about money and it's about this corporate money and this investment shit and all that other kind of.
Jimmy, I saw going around of him saying he didn't think that they sold.
No. And that's
there's a clip going around of him
because
saying,
Kyle put that in his
took the money, but
Kyle put that in his fucking video. And
that's
the first video that Kyle did, he pointed that out. And I mean, what are you gonna say? That's your own fucking thing. Those are your own fucking words. You didn't think that they sold out? And
I think they're both being paid.
What do you mean?
I think somebody's paying them to say that shit about Syria, right? And I think I wouldn't be surprised. I obviously don't have any evidence from the Jimmy thing, but I would not be surprised if somebody was paying him to fucking do the shit he's been doing this year. I mean, maybe he's just that big of a sicko, like, that big of a
all right, hold on. I got the clip.
He's that black-pilled.
All right, let's check out what Kyle put here.
Wrong on both of those things. It doesn't matter what you think of Jimmy, personally or otherwise. He's not a grifter. He believes every word he's saying.
Kyle's just being paid by
guaranteed.
big subs.
I know Jimmy. That's a fact. He believes every single word he's saying. The idea he's a right-winger is also ludicrous. He's attacking Democrats from the left. He's attacking the left flank of the Democrats from the left. Now, you might not like that. You might think some of his attacks are unfair. You might think some of his attacks are misleading or whatever. We're not going to get into that now. I got 1,000 criticisms and 1,000 points of agreement. But he ain't a right-winger, and he ain't a grifter, okay? At the same time, Jimmy accuses
TYT was saying
of being basically corrupt and being liars. I disagree. You know who else used to disagree? This guy.
No, actually, I was wondering about Cenk because, I saw Cenk at the e-board meeting, and I asked him some tough questions about how he's taking money from Jeffrey Katzenberg. He got a $20 million investment to hire some journalists, and so far I haven't seen a lot of them, doing the original investigative reporting that they're supposed to be doing. I see a lot of punditry, and unfortunately on the main show, it tends to be kind of mainstream. Does he think that this money that he's taken from the establishment Democratic Party would influence him? And of course he says it hasn't, but now we see this reporting about Russia, so I know that you may not want, you have to choose your words very carefully, but
no, I don't I don't think that's I don't think Cenk is preaching a false narrative for investment money. I think he truly believes it. I take it, Cenk is what I call a natural Republican, right? So he was a Republican at first for a long time, and he talks about this openly, about how he even led pro-Iraq war rallies, right? The first one. And so that's why people are drawn to him, because it's this great journey where he went from this meathead into this progressive, right? And so that's what appealed to me about his journey and about Cenk. So I think if he is what we consider to be wrong on an issue, it's just because he's genuinely believes it. That money, that investment money. That's not how Cenk works, and if he's making a mistake, it's just he's making a mistake. Or I disagree with him. I disagree with him before they took that money. Well, the first gas attack in 2013, and Barack Obama wanted to bomb Syria over that, and they believed it.
And it was proven false.
It was since proven false.
Jimmy's 100% right there, and that wasn't that long ago. Let me break this down further. Listen. TYT took investment money from a guy by the name of Buddy Roemer. Buddy Roemer is a former Republican politician. Now, when they took that money, did they then turn around and on the show they started supporting Republican politicians and pushing Republican policies? No, they didn't, right? Because the whole point of the deal was, hey, we're only going to make a deal if you have zero editorial control over the show. Cenk would only make deals with people who would have no editorial control over the show. So that's exactly what happened with Buddy Roemer. He took money from a former Republican politician, and they didn't end up backing Republicans nonstop. Now, it goes deeper than that, too, though, because he took money from Katzenberg. Did that make him change his opinions? No. I got news for you guys. If you've watched TYT for a long time, you'll know this. He's always had a lot of cringe opinions. So, for example, before he took money from Roemer or Katzenberg, Cenk always referred to himself as, and I quote, a mild interventionist. What? He has always been relatively hostile to protectionism. He says he believes more in free trade than other lefties like me and Jimmy. I don't know what Aaron's position is on free trade and protectionism, but I know Jimmy is more in alignment with me on that. Cenk was always like, I'm more of a free trader. Cenk has always been sort of openly hostile to unions. There's clips back from TYT in like 2008 where he mentions unions and he's like, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of unions. So listen, I disagree with Cenk on all of that, but I disagreed with him on it before he took investment money and after he took investment money. And this is a guy who walked away from $1 million MSNBC contract because he felt like they were going to muzzle him. So then would he turn around and take investment money for his company for them to muzzle him or force him to change his opinions? No, he wouldn't do it. Now, again, I want to be clear about something. This isn't me saying, you can never disagree with TYT. Of course, I have 1,000 disagreements with them. Again, I literally debated Cenk on Russiagate, okay? And there's a million other things I could go on and on about where I think they're wrong. But it's definitely not that they're changing opinions because they got the money. They would only take money from people who left them full editorial control and wouldn't impact the direction of the show. If you dislike the direction of the show, you could dislike it on its own merits. You could dislike it because you disagree with Cenk and Anna. It doesn't have to be because of the money thing and their, nefarious twisting their evil mustache behind closed doors like, I will now change direction of the show because I got the money. Listen, the only criticism I have on that front is they made a lot of bad business decisions. I think it's gross if you take investment money and then you also turn around and do grassroots fundraising. Don't do that. Because then the people who are giving you the grassroots money, they feel like they're the ones who are funding the whole shit, and then you're also raising investment money. I just think that's gross. I think that's a bad business decision. I think the optics of taking investment money, whether it's from Roemer or Katzenberg, I think the optics are terrible.
Yeah.
On that alone, I would have said don't do it. Never mind the fact that they did it and they did grassroots fundraising. But what I'll tell you is this. Jimmy believes every word he says, and TYT believes every word they say. And so, listen, in summation.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like what you always say about follow the money when you're trying to, prove or weigh the merits of a conspiracy. I think Jimmy goes ahead and throws in all the money, so then it makes more sense when he calls somebody a sellout. I think he goes ahead and ties it back to money, so that way his claims about whoever being a sellout have some kind of money ties. Because that's what he did with Kyle now.
Yeah.
Because he went ahead and turned around and said to Kyle that Kyle's a sellout. Kyle's a corporatist. And he's doing this probably because of TYT money. And like, Kyle has shown so much fucking integrity when it comes to where he's funded.
Saying, like that.
I mean, what the fuck? Dude, you're gonna tell him that this guy is a fucking corporate sellout? Come on, man. Everybody knows Kyle only sells out for Big Seltzer.
Yeah, dude, he's got that big seltzer money. He does not need the TYT money. Like, come on. I don't know, man. I wish more people were seeing how fucking petty that was in the door.
Yeah, and
it's not cool,
I don't see any of the Doritos going on backing off from this.
Did you see how many fucking downvotes that Kyle video?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's the one that I just showed is fucking 20K up, 18K down. The other one.
Who are those 18,000 people? Do you think that they're bots?
The other one.
Like I thought it was impressive how quickly somebody responded to me.
Yeah.
Like I commented, it was basically like, I've agreed with Kyle since the jump. Like it was like I unsubscribed from TYT because I don't trust them anymore. Like, but at the same time, I think it's incredibly petty the way Jamie's responding, and I can't believe his fans are out here defending this crybaby bullshit. And then instantly somebody responded. It was like, just stock, like, like slobbering on fucking doors knob. Like,
I mean, I saw one tweet from one of those Doritos that said, Jimmy Dore has Malcolm X level integrity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These people are fucking freaks, man.
Like, come on, dude.
It's just...
Come on, man.
Why do they think that he's... I just don't get it. Like, because he makes his show about, like, attacking people on the left, so therefore he's obviously, above reproach or something.
I guess. But... so this is the last thing before we go into something else.
Well,
but
Jordan Sheridan's thread.
Oh yeah, you know what? Actually,
good.
Jordan's thread was really good. Let's go look at that first.
Let's look at that and then move
All
on.
right.
I'm
Yeah.
done with this.
And I mean, from the look of it, I don't think Kyle's gonna be feeding into it anymore. I mean,
No, he's a fucking
yeah,
grown
he's a
up,
fucking
man.
grown up. He doesn't want to be doing this bullshit. He doesn't want to end up making videos back and forth, saying whatever, addressing all the shit that Jimmy said. I mean, I know he saw that last shit. I mean, obviously they know all of this stuff that's going on. Pac-Man's the only one that pretends like he never sees any of this shit, but of course he fucking knows too. But the last thing that I'm trying to remember. Yeah, the like we were wondering why Kyle didn't weigh in on the Steven Crowder thing, and Kyle knew. I mean,
yeah, that's
Kyle
weird.
knew exactly about the Steven Crowder thing. You saw the fucking videos. He just chose not to fucking talk about it. It's not something he wants to do. So, I mean, as far as what's gonna go on in the future, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure Jimmy Dore's gonna go ahead and keep on ripping on him, gonna keep on doing whatever the fuck he is. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna be able to goad Kyle into buying into more of the drama, or I mean, if it's gonna be like when Destiny started shit talking Kyle, and Kyle was just like, nah,
I wonder if he's gonna like
it.
go, find more like old tweets to attack.
Well, there's a whole ass account. There's a whole ass account for Jimmy to go ahead and do that. It's called Old Kyle Tweets. You didn't do it. Kyle doesn't hide.
I love Old Kyle
That's what I'm
tweets.
saying. Kyle doesn't hide anything. He doesn't care about that shit. I mean, I think he cares more about losing friends than what he said in the past being brought up again. And like from that perspective, I can understand that, man. Like if you came into this as, from Kyle's perspective, saying these are all my homies and this is where things are now, I don't think that's what he wanted, man. I don't think that, and I can understand exactly where he's coming from on that. But let me see.
Where's that chair?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Okay, here we go. So Jordan Sheridan. I mean, in retrospect, I think he was also somebody who was probably treated unfairly by TYT, but he is doing good over here with status quo. But this is a thread that he threw up. Thread: the corporate democratic establishment and its media allies are loving the current divide and conquer mass cancellation, never-ending war among indie lefties. What's this stream about? We talk about politics. We're lefties, and we're just kind of going over all the events of the week. So That's what we do. And then what about after this? We're gonna go talk about like some UFO stuff.
And then we do UFOs.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and talk about UFO stuff.
Yeah, we do politics
Aliens
the first
and
half, and then UFOs the
cryptids.
second
I have
half.
some ghost videos tonight to go ahead and play too. Maybe we'll get to that and some alt history stuff. Sure thing. But yeah, so the corporate democratic establishment and its media allies are loving the current divide and conquer mass cancellation, never-ending war among indie lefties. To rightfully politically frustrated progressives, giving this oxygen for a month now at the expense of all else, this is what they want. In reality, this goes back far earlier than this year and the current online war between hosts and channels. I started seeing this in 2016 after Bernie Sanders endorsed Hillary Clinton. Rightfully disappointed and frustrated progressives began turning on Bernie and diving headfirst into political nihilist mentality that believes any politician, whether you or not you agree with them on policy or morality, that takes direction or makes a policy or strategic choice you don't agree with, is a sellout or a fraud. Now this is extended to YouTube hosts. This, in my view, destructive all or nothing black or white mentality continued on after AOC and the squad ran on bringing the ruckus to the Democratic Party, but so far have folded like cheap tents. After that, a large swath of progressives dived even deeper, suggesting I don't care who it is running, if they have a D next to their name, canceled, or essentially saying the hell with the system. If candidates aren't running scorched earth against the Democratic Party and aren't breathing fire like YouTube hosts, they're canceled. But I respectfully ask for folks who might fit into this category to truly take a step back and ask yourself something. Do you think the multi-layered corruption and corporate capture of our government and capture happened overnight? Trust me, I covered Bernie 2016 on the road. This political euphoria and awakening for millions maybe led people to believe that we can tear down this corrupt system very quickly, and all it would take is one political messiah getting into office. But having traveled for 6 years and observed up close more misery, injustice, and corruption on the streets and local level than you can imagine, I can tell you with 1,000% certainty what has become the United Corporations of America was never going to fall in 2, 4, or even 10 years, and no single politician or political group was going to be the one to storm the gates and topple the corporate oligarchy, depriving you of Medicare for all, Green New Deal, jobs guarantee, UBI, reparations for black people, and saving planet Earth. This isn't about whether Bernie Sanders is weak or not fighting hard enough. Yes to both. Same goes to the squad. What this is about is progressives needing to decide what their number one priority is. It's either every YouTube host politician agreeing on all things, on all strategic actions, demanding those hosts and politicians rant and rave to the degree you want, or else they're canceled and a fraud, or actually focusing on taking down this corrupt system and seizing power. This doesn't mean not criticizing politicians, hosts on strategy or votes or anything else, but this is a very stark difference between disagreeing or being disappointed and creating a progressive movement that spends more time eating its own than actually organizing a fight. Corporate Democrats or country corporate Republicans and the lunatic GOP to actually change this country from a government that has morphed into a legalized auction of the highest bidder to an actual representative democracy. If anyone thinks you can build a successful political movement to achieve our policy goals, much less a successful general strike that shakes the capitalist system by mass canceling YouTube hosts or every politician that doesn't feed you what you want 100% of the time, then be prepared to have a very entertaining online content for the next decade marked by conflict, clickbait, manipulation of viewers, and cultism, while at the same time the plutocrats continue scoring every victory and the country's shift towards fascism further cements itself. Ultimately, you have to decide, do you want to have your understandable political anger, frustration, and disappointment validated by politicians and or YouTube hosts 100% of the time? Or do you actually want to win big political victories and focus on waking more people up and bringing them into the progressive movement so that your army can grow larger? Because I got news for you. No one wants to join the shit show I've been seeing for a month. Cancel me if you want, but this threat is a reality. I hope the people that applies to reconsider. Yeah, I think Jordan is about as spot on as you can get with that one, because this doesn't do anything. This doesn't help anything. You know,
Exactly.
And-
That's what I'm saying. I think it's pretty obvious who cares about real shit, who cares about actually getting some progress, getting some,
yeah.
like some dubs on the board, and who doesn't. And I think he caters to these people who are
It's exactly the thing. Look, man, Michael Brooks had this shit nailed fucking down with that thing that he said about Jimmy. And like the one part that I actually take issue in, and this is just the part where he says about helping Trump, but I do want to go ahead and play this thing again. I know we've seen it before, but here we go. Let me see if I can play this thing.
We have to fight establishment Democrats. We have to deal with the corporate hegemony. We have to deal with ideological conformity of a global elite. Do we really need to spend our time on YouTube just giving people dumb emotional releases? Or actually help them think about how they actually get power? And I know that was spoken like a true fucking corporate sellout. Get the fuck out of here, man. Do some research. Get serious. We have to fight
That's it. You know, and I don't think it's ever been said any better, because that's what a lot of people are doing. They're looking for bullshit emotional releases. They're not thinking about something or figuring out a way to change things. What does Jimmy do? Jimmy goes out there and rants. He yells, and it's good to feel that way. It's good to let that anger out and dive into it and always be pissed off, or have some outlet for you being pissed off about how things are being run, because it is frustrating. It is infuriating. You know, when you feel you have the right position on the policies and you don't see those things being implemented. You think you have the right position on strategy and you don't see those things being followed through on. And what it becomes is just an exercise in just emotional release. And it's easy to go ahead and turn around and say, all right, if you're not doing this, it's easy for somebody to come along and say this. All right, if you see somebody not doing this, not doing the thing that you want, write them off. They're sellouts. You don't need them. They're the enemy. And you can get a lot of people riled up and follow you that way.
Yeah, that's not productive.
No.
Right? It's like if you disagree with somebody, you say, that's a shit take. Here's what I think is better.
Yeah.
Here's what I think we should do to improve that. And go on. It's like the whole fucking force the vote thing
broke so many fucking brains, man. It's not even funny. I mean, they're still talking about it, man. And that's
fucking every fucking episode of Bad Faith, she finds some way to work it in, right? And like you can tell, like the guests are like not into it anymore either.
It's a dead issue. It's gone. Y'all had a lot of fun with it, but it's over now.
You just like, it's just like the correct response is, yo, I think this is fucked up. Like here's what I think we should do instead, right? Like I think we should do, we should organize pressure for this issue, or, we should try to, like run some candidates in this race or whatever it is. Just fucking do something. Move on. Stop fucking talking about it. Find some new content for your shitty channel.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that's... Nobody wants to be part of this shit, bro. Like, imagine trying to bring somebody into the fold and tell them, oh, you got to go ahead and look at Jimmy because he always talks about this. You got to look at TYT because they're the largest progressive platform and they've been talking about this. They've been on these issues for, look at Kyle. But, I mean, if you're trying to talk to people that have never been exposed to this, and the first thing that they get exposed to is all this fucking infighting where they just shit talk each other. No one wants to be fucking part of that, man. Are you supposed to go ahead and say that these are our voices in some sort of media space when what they're preoccupied with is inner leftist drama?
Yeah, it fucking sucks. People just want to feel like morally superior, You know, I think that's a big part. I mean, I think that's a lot of people on the left are into that shit, right? Like that's why a lot of them come to the left.
Yeah,
right?
like okay,
you know, like I always use the equivalent of like people who are into like obscure bands, right? There's definitely an element of that on the left, right? I mean, not everybody, not even most people, but some of them, you know, some people have that whole sentiment about them. You can just tell. It's like they don't care about winning. They don't care about putting some points on the board. They just care about having the correct take.
Yeah, and look, and I'm not disagreeing even that shit talking is entertaining though. I mean, shit. That's why the debate bro circle is so fucking big. People love seeing them fucking go at each other and take swipes and do all that shit. People love fucking drama. That's why reality TV is a thing. People like seeing that shit. Even before reality TV, that's why people watch all those fucking. We used to, in the 90s, people used to love fucking Jerry Springer. They like seeing people's messed up drama being thrown out in front of you for your entertainment. It's a natural human compulsion. But when you're out here trying to inform people or even trying to get people rallied up into trying to understand the system and understand how to change it or actually make some kind of difference into it, and the drama overtakes that part of it, then you've lost the whole fucking point. Yeah, Jerry Springer got canceled. Don't worry, his shit's still up on reruns. You can watch that shit all fucking day. Shit.
Well, speaking of, should we?
I got you. Yeah, we're back. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened. That was weird. All right. And then we're good.
Yeah, the deep state didn't like our...
the deep state didn't like...
our message of solidarity.
I guess not. They didn't like our solidarity stuff.
No, I mean, that's the bottom line, is like, fucking TYT was wrong.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, you know, he disrespected her when he worked with her. She didn't like it. She told you she didn't like it. Kyle was sticking up for you, right? And even if you didn't think that, the thing that would be best to keep your fan base and his fan base from not being at each other's throats, from not creating more drama, is to just fucking send him a mean text and go about your business, you know? Like, tell him, fuck you, I didn't want to go on your stupid podcast anyway, and then move on.
I mean, even at worst, you know, I mean, look, for me, if I'm in Jimmy's position and Kyle says, I don't really want to have you guys on right now because of all the shit, even at that point.
Which, I would feel, I can see how he would be upset about that.
Like, for me, if I'm in Jimmy's perspective and then they say, I don't want to have you guys on because of this shit that you're all doing, for me, I would be like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to bring my fucking drama and dump it on your goddamn doorstep. That's just me. I would be like, all right, you know what? Y'all don't want to be part of this shit, and there's no way that we can really proceed from here without you actually being a part of this stuff and having to take sides. So, you know what?
Okay. All right. I think the bottom line,
we don't got to do this.
Right, is,
hey, what's going on?
Like,
how you doing? Manchu. I've been seeing you before. Or actually, I don't remember seeing you before, but thank you.
I feel like I remember that name.
But greetings.
I mean, I just feel like it's like that's the bottom line is like Kyle. You hear me? Oh. Just Kyle and TYT, like, as lame as they are and, you know, as selly-outy as they are, they put in a lot of work, man. Kyle puts in a lot of work, like, or at least he used to, right? With Justice Democrats, like, they've actually done real life organizing. They've actually worked to get people elected.
Right, and that's another reason that I don't agree with these people that just go out there and dunk on the squad all day. Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, look, let's be real about it. People that are out here talking about let's primary AOC. If AOC is your biggest problem in Congress, bro, we're doing pretty good. If the one that you have to move left is that's like your one real holdout is that you got to move the people in the squad to the left. I mean, you're doing pretty good. If that's as far right as we go, you should be pretty happy with the position that the government is in at that point.
Oh God.
Imagine.
How tight would that be?
See, I feel some political commentators who become big, it feels like they might start caring more about the money than the progressive change. I think so. I think it becomes more about maybe not even the money. I think it's more about the clout, the fame, the following, all that shit that comes along with being a big time commentator. You know, and it's also about playing up.
I mean, some of them are like.
It's also about playing up to your audience. You know, people look at you. People, look up to your opinion. They value what you say. And if you have to go ahead and fall on the sword and take an L, I don't know. Maybe there's a thought in the back of people's mind that the people that follow you will think less of you.
They would not have thought less of him for responding like a fucking grown up to Kyle's video.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they would have. I think if Jimmy went out there and just kept it to Aaron Mate and Russiagate, and even chilled out and not tried to say that TYT's selling out or whatever else. If it was just about them being wrong. Kyle's criticized TYT so many fucking times, and it's never gotten personal. And there's never been oh yeah, we're not homies no more. There's never been a situation like that. Because there's a way to make good faith critiques. It exists.
Yep.
It does. I mean that, but this isn't what it is. But here we go. My name is Beef. I would like to present you with an exceedingly excellent mother joke.